Hello and welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast brought to you by 90 Min. As ever, I'm your host, Harry Symeou. Hope everyone's doing well. Today, we're going to be taking you through Arsenal versus Leeds United in the Premier League. This is a massive, massive game for Mikel Arteta's side, and we're going to run through the team news in just a second. But first of all, give me a thumbs up in the live chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Messed around with it all again to try and get you guys the best quality stream as possible, so just want to make sure everything's coming through loud and clear at the moment. Thumbs up to you all. Happy Valentine's Day as well. I know a lot of you will be like me and probably slightly in the doghouse, given that you're choosing to spend your Valentine's Day afternoon with the mighty Arsenal, and it is what it is. This is the things that we do for this football club that we all love. And of course, later on tonight, I'll be enjoying Inter versus Lazio as well. But I'm not sure I've broken that one to her yet. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be fine. Right, just a quick one. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. It is very, very important and very much appreciated. So please do that. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel as well, all you need to do is click on the link in the description as well, and you will find the information there on how to join up. Big thumbs up to everyone in the chat. Topher on that Leicester gem. Yeah, on our social club show this week, I asked you guys to give me your predictions, and your gem prediction was the Leicester result. So really well done to you guys on that, and we'll be reviewing all the predictions from both sides. So from myself, from Alavi, from DeLuca, and you guys on this week's edition of the Social Club. Right, without further ado, let's go through Arsenal's starting lineup this afternoon. And Mikel Arteta has made 5 changes. Bernd Leno returns in goal. It's a back four of Hector Bellerin, David Luiz and Gabriel, with Cedric Soares playing at left back. So, of course, Rob Holding not in the starting lineup today. He's played a lot of football lately, and that probably had an influence on Mikel there. In the middle of the park, it's Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka. Of course, Thomas Partey is injured, so the Spaniard comes back into the midfield. And ahead of those two, it's a trio of Emile Smith-Rowe, Martin Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka. I'm not entirely sure which positions those three are going to take up. We know that Saka's been playing on the right from late, but he's also a left-footed player, so he could be playing from the left. Ødegaard is a left-footed player as well. Will he play from the left? Will it be interchangeable? Will Emile Smith-Rowe stay in his number 10 position with those two guys either side of him? We're going to have to wait until kickoff to gauge that understanding of exactly how those guys are going to be playing. And then, of course, up front, there's no Alexander Lacazette today. He is on the substitutes bench, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has returned to the starting lineup. He will play through the middle, we think, for the Gunners here. So let me know your thoughts on the team news in the chat. Let's quickly have a look at the substitutes bench as well. As I mentioned, Lacazette is on there. Willian, Holding, Pepe, Chambers, Pablo Mari, Mohamed Elneny, Matt Ryan and Gabriel Martinelli are all available for Mikel Arteta to call upon. So it's quite a strong bench, you've got to say. And having a look at the Leeds team, well, their key absentee today is, of course, Calvin Phillips, who is not available after he was injured in their last fixture. It's Ilham Meslier in goal. It's a back four of Alioski, Cooper, Struijk and Eiling, with Click, we think, playing ahead of them. Harrison on the left, Rafinha on the right. Dallas and Shackleton are in the centre of midfield behind Patrick Bamford, who's been in irresistible form this season. Now, I think Marcelo Bielsa has just said that Struijk will play in that defensive midfield position, that Ayling will play at right centre-back, and that Shackleton may play at right-back. So I'm not 100% sure how Leeds are going to line up. Again, we're going to have to wait until kickoff to really know exactly what it is they are doing. Looking at their substitutes bench, Tyler Roberts, Casilla, Costa, Hernandez, Davis, Gelhardt, Cresswell, Jenkins and Niall Huggins. So that makes up Leeds' substitute bench as well. Let me know what you think in the live chat about the team news today. Are you pleased with it? Is it what you would have done? I've got to be honest, and I don't want to be negative before the game, and I hope I'm completely wrong, but I just feel like this front line may lack a little bit of balance. Some of the good things we've seen from Arsenal of late have been with Alexander Lacazette playing through the middle, with Emile Smith-Rowe playing through the middle. So in changing that, is Mikel Arteta taking a risk today? We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to see how it pans out. I hope I'm wrong, but I really have a little bit of a concern about that and just how that front line is going to work necessarily. I think David Luiz is in the side because, of course, his ability, as I spoke about on the preview show, to play the ball out from the back, to play the ball forward, could potentially expose Leeds United. And maybe with the pace of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Arsenal are looking to hit them that way. But we're going to have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold here at the Emirates Stadium. Around about 9 minutes till kickoff at the moment. Remember, if you haven't hit the like button already, what are you waiting for? Smash the like button. It's so important. Really appreciate you guys' support. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. Right, any questions, any thoughts leading into this one? I can see a couple of you mentioning that Gabriel Martinelli has had his Instagram account hacked. I've seen a couple of people talking about it on Twitter. I haven't really looked into it in any detail, I've got to be honest. But it kind of feels like the focus right now needs to be on Arsenal going out there and getting all 3 points. And Gabriel Martinelli's Instagram for me can take a bit of a backseat for the time being. Last week, we ran a competition, if you remember, on our last watch-along for the game against Aston Villa. We ran a competition in which the winner would win a copy of the Chronicles of a Gooner book, which is the book that I released at the end of the 17-18 season, documenting Arsene Wenger's final year in charge from a fan's perspective. So it's not it's not all lovey-dovey about it. It's the real harsh realities of it. And of course, we found out midway through that season, didn't we, that Arsene Wenger was going to leave. So lots to dig your teeth into here. Features interviews with Ray Parler, Kevin Campbell, Tom Watt, and AFTV's Robbie Lyle. So the way we're going to do this is you're going to put in the live chat the minute that you think Arsenal will score their first goal today. If Arsenal don't score, again, like they did against Aston Villa, we will carry the competition over to next week. But the closest person to the actual minute will win a copy of the book. If more than one of you get it right, you'll both win, or 3 of you will win, or however many of you there are will get copies of the Chronicles of a Gooner sent out to you in the post. So yeah, get involved in the live chat. I'm not going to do what I did last time and try and run through the chat and write them all down before the game starts. I will replay the chat later on and pick out the winner. So let me know your minutes in the chat. Get them in there now, and we will announce the winner on the review show, which will be, of course, later on tonight. So that podcast is going to come to you at around about 9:45 p.m. UK time tonight. So yeah, come and join me for that a little bit later on as well. So get your entries in, and I will announce, of course, the winner on that. I can see lots of interesting entries coming in. A couple of you have gone with the 13th minute, 31st minutes there, 36th. There's quite a few. So yeah, get involved. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Billy Anderson says, big up Harry and all my fellow Gooners. 14th minute for Valentine's Day. Love that. Creambone66 says, lineup makes sense. Giving Laka a rest in light of our injury crisis is thinking ahead and a chance for Oba to kickstart his scoring form from down the middle. What else have we got here? A couple of you going for the 18th minute. Steve Stone predicts a 3-2 win to the Arsenal. Abhishek says Oba should stay central. I think with Oba, right, when he plays through the middle, he just doesn't bring that link-up play. He doesn't bring that interchangeable kind of combination with the guys around him. And it's just because he's a different type of player. But, similarly to the way Thierry Henry used to, I think he might get a bit more joy if he does go out on the left sometimes. And start from there and then drift in field. And then maybe the number 10 can just push on a little bit further in certain situations. So I'd like to see Aubameyang still do what he does well from the left, which is use that space to drift in field. But equally, him being more central should lead to him getting more goal scoring opportunities. But I'm not convinced that's going to be the case necessarily, because it hasn't always been the case with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, Leeds, well, they don't traditionally win in London. They haven't won in London all season. They didn't win in the Championship, I don't think, last season either, playing games in London. So their record in London is not great. But we know Arsenal and their home form this season makes it not an impossibility. So we're going to have to be on guard here. Leeds are a very, very decent side under Marcelo Bielsa. There's no getting away from that. They play really exciting, expansive, attacking football. And Arsenal are going to have to be on guard here today. Arsenal coming out with what looks like a new sponsor on the back of their tracksuits. Not sure what company that is, but it looks like an Asian sponsor on the back of the tracksuit. That's new. I didn't know about that. So yeah, Arsenal out, Leeds out. Arsenal wearing, of course, their traditional red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. Leeds United wearing their away kit, which is like a navy and blue striped little number with dark coloured shorts and white socks, of course, probably to avoid clashing with the referee. Let's quickly run you through the Arsenal team once more, as kickoff is around the corner here at the Emirates Stadium. Bernd Leno is in goal. Across the back four, it's Hector Bellerin, David Luiz, Gabriel and Cedric Suarez. Granit Xhaka and Dani Ceballos are the midfield duo, and then it's a trio of Emile Smith-Rowe, Martin Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka playing a supporting role to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So that is the Arsenal side that Mikel Arteta has selected from the beginning here at the Emirates Stadium to take on Leeds United. Right, let's get over and get a little bit of atmosphere here for this one. Just let me know if the crowd sound is filtering through to you guys on the live stream. Should be coming through to you just faintly in the background, but give me a thumbs up in the chat. Make sure that you are getting that. Quickly run you through the Leeds lineup once again. Illan Meslier in goal. Ayling, Struijk, Cooper, Alioski, apologies. Click, Rafinha, Dallas, Shackleton, Harrison and Patrick Bamford. So that is the Leeds side tasked with taking on Mikel Arteta's side at the Emirates Stadium on this Valentine's Day afternoon. Once again, if you're joining us a little bit late, happy Valentine's Day to you all. I hope you're not in too much trouble, seeing as you are now spending a fair chunk of your Valentine's Day watching the mighty Arsenal. But it is what it is. We do what we've got to do. And kickoff is around the corner here. Of course, Martin Ødegaard and Dani Ceballos, former teammates at Real Madrid. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of partnership those two can strike up and whether they can combine to good effect for the Gunners. Rafinha, of course, the Brazilian playing for Leeds United. He's in fine form. 3 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League so far this season, but he's really been catching the eye of late. Cedric Suarez continues at left back. Had a bit of a mare in the game against Aston Villa, but it will have to do. At the moment, Arsenal are in a little bit of a difficult situation with the whole, left back thing. Of course, Sead Kolasinac has gone out on loan. We've lost players because of injury all season. Kieran Tierney is not quite fit. Graham says very faint, Harry, but yeah, coming through okay with this crowd sound. Yeah, it's supposed to be faint, mate. Don't worry. I don't want it to be too overwhelming. Players taking the knee in support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. And we're ready to start here at the Emirates Stadium. Leeds United kick us off in their changed strip. Luke Ayling, as Marcelo Bielsa said, is playing at right centre-back. And Pascal Struijk is sitting deep in the Leeds United midfield. Here's Dani Ceballos. Wins it on the halfway line for Arsenal. Plays it to Emile Smith-Rowe, who looks as though he might be starting from the left. based on what we've seen in this first, 25 odd seconds or not. Should have really started the clock. We'll do that now, make sure. There we go. Here is Cedric on the edge of Leeds' box, shoots, blocked. It'll fall to Aubameyang to the left of Leeds United's penalty area. Still alive here for the Gunners. Lovely ball infield for Cedric. Low cross back to Erdegaard. Shot block, lays it off to Smith Rowe, who fires over. It's high and wide in the end from Emile Smith Rowe. But really encouraging signs for Arsenal really, really early on here. Just having another look. Cedric into the penalty area. Cuts it back to Erdegaard. Blocked by Struijk. And then Emile Smith Rowe, unfortunately, fires over the bar for the Gunners. Can see a few of you telling me to start the timer. Yeah, I've done it now. Don't worry, I synced it up. It should all be good now. Yeah, too much to remember when you're doing streams by yourself. Maybe one day if the channel gets bigger, we'll be able to afford a producer on board. Who knows? Illan Meslier playing the ball out to the left there for Alioski, who couldn't keep it in. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in midway inside Leeds United's half. Bellerin is going to take it into Saka. Looks to lift it over the Leeds man, but can't do so. Arsenal winning the ball high up the pitch again, this time via Granit Xhaka. Ceballos plays the ball forward. It's picked up by Harrison. Another player who's impressed. Has stepped up to Premier League level without any real issues. Here is Ayling in defence for Leeds United. He plays it forward down the right-hand side. Rafinha can't quite get it under control. Big hello to those of you joining us a little bit late as well. Hope you're all well. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leeds have scored 8 goals in the opening 15 minutes of Premier League fixtures this season. That's the most, only behind Tottenham. They're only behind Tottenham, sorry, so they're second in the division for that. Apologies for the side profile, but my screen is on this side. Here come Leeds on the attack. Rafinha looking to come forward, but Xhaka's alive there. Arsenal playing with a real intensity in these early stages. Here's Ceballos. Plays it left to Aubameyang. Drifting out left is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Looks to make room for the shot. Lays it off to Bellerin instead. And Bellerin left-footed. Completely miscues that. And it's gone over the bar. But Arsenal started well. Intense. With energy. That's what we like to see. As I mentioned before kickoff, although Aubameyang on paper is the central striker, he is pulling out to that left-hand side. And he is looking to make things happen from that position. Here's Ayling as Leeds take the resulting goal kick short. Meslier thinks about playing it short, having got it back from his defender, but instead he'll shift the ball out of his feet and play a long ball out to the left towards Harrison. Bellerin wins the header though. Alioski heads it forward for Leeds. Bellerin picks up the loose ball and finds Ceballos, who's come close. Saka looks to chest it to Bellerin. That's not quite worked, and Leeds have won themselves a free kick just inside Arsenal's half. So based on what we've seen so far, this is how it's looking. Emile Smith Rowe is playing from the left. Martin Erdegaard is playing in that number 10 position. Bukayo Saka's operating from the right, and Aubameyang through the middle, although Aubameyang's clearly been instructed to pull out to that left-hand side wherever possible and try and make things happen. Here is Click for Leeds United. Plays it to Ayling. Just crosses the halfway line, does Luke Ayling. Plays it into the feet of Rafinha. Just gets a little bit caught up in his feet there, and Arsenal win it back as Gabriel plays it forward. Erdegaard takes it out of the air. Leeds win it back through Alioski, and they come forward with Mateus. Click plays the ball into Bamford on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area. Can he make room for the shot? He can't. Gabriel does brilliantly. Comes across. Looks strong and looks powerful. Gabriel has conceded a throw-in, but that'll do. First real sight of goal for Patrick Bamford. Scored 13 goals in his last 24 Premier League appearances. He's been in really good form, and Bamford's been in the Premier League before and not quite made it and not quite, lived up to the billing, but since coming back with Leeds, he looks a completely different player, and you probably have to credit Marcelo Bielsa as much as anybody for that. Here is Cedric into Emile Smith-Rowe. Cedric gets it back. Portuguese defender, of course, continuing at left back for the Gunners. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. Here comes Bellerin. Steps inside, click. And then into Emile Smith-Rowe, who lays it off to Granit Xhaka. He'll carry the ball forward for the Gunners here. Plays it left towards Cedric. Just about keeps it in. Rafinha wants a throw in. Cedric puts the cross in the box, but I think the referee has pulled it back. It's going to be a Leeds United throw on in the right back position. Big hello to everybody joining us in the live chat at the moment. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. It is so important. We'd love to have you become a member of the channel too, if you so wish. If you are interested in checking out what our membership proposition is all about, then click the link in the description for more information. Post-match review show coming to you guys later tonight, around about 9:45 p.m, but I'll schedule it after this show. Cedric throws it towards Aubameyang's direction, but a bit of a miscommunication between the two. Just looking at that stat on the screen now, Arsenal won 100% of their games with Kieran Tierney in the side this season, and that stat looks very different when you're talking about Arsenal without Kieran Tierney. So you can understand why Arsenal are perhaps taking greater precautions on him, why they're trying to be careful, make sure he's fully fit before bringing him back into the picture. We can't afford for players to keep breaking down. It's been a fairly intense start to this game though, in terms of the tempo, which is what you'd expect from Leeds, but it's good to see that from Arsenal as well, because I think prior to this recent sort of run we've been on, just obviously prior to the Villa and Wolves games, Arsenal were struggling with that intensity early on, but we've picked that up a little bit. And although we didn't get the results we wanted in those couple of games, the performances were still better than most of what we've seen this season. So you've got to take encouragement from that. Here comes Cedric for Arsenal at left back into Emile Smith-Rowe, just inside Leeds' half on the left. Plays it back to Gabriel. Steps out of the defence. He has Xhaka outside of the boot. Finds David Luiz. He will drive forward for Arsenal. So what he's in the side to do today, David Luiz, to step into Leeds' half, to get involved in the game. Here's Erdegaard. Look how quickly Arsenal are moving the ball. We haven't seen this in ages. Xhaka, good ball out to the left. Aubameyang again pulling out there. Goes down under the challenge of Luke Ayling. And the referee has deemed that to be a foul on the Arsenal captain. We'll just have another look at it. Ayling gives him a little bit of a nudge in the back. Puts Aubameyang down on the ground. Arsenal have a free kick from the left-hand side. Big thank you to Creambone as well. He says, don't worry, Harry. Been telling every Gooner I know how fantastic this show is and to join and sign up. Thank you so much, mate. Really, really appreciate it. Arsenal with a free kick from the left-hand side. It's right by the touchline and in line with the edge of the penalty area. David Luiz has gone forward, as has Gabriel, you'd imagine. Yep, Gabriel's in there too. Is it going to be the left foot of Saka or the right foot of Cedric, who's shown he can put a decent ball into the box as well of late? And it comes from Cedric, right-footed. Aubameyang stretching. Ayling gets ahead on it, and it's hooked away by Jack Harrison as far as the halfway line, where Hector Bellerin will pick it up and Arsenal can potentially come again. Here's Cedric. Into the feet of Saka. Does really well to skip past a couple of challenges. Here's Cedric now inside Leeds' penalty area. Oh, just a heavy touch there from Cedric. And it is difficult, isn't it, playing on your wrong side? And it showed there with Cedric. He got to the byline and his touch was just a little bit heavy. Ball ended up going out for a Leeds United goal kick. But again, Arsenal doing really well to create those overloads on the left-hand side. And as Kevin Jean says in the chat, was it Kevin Jean that said it? No, it was Creambone. Sorry, he says we look fresh and rested. And in response to Kevin Jean's comment, yes, the Granit Xhaka figurine is here, my friend. Do not fear. Just to clarify, he only impacts on Granit Xhaka's performances, right? Nobody else's. Just Granit Xhaka's. Guys, if you're still putting entries in about the first goal, I'm not going to take second entries that you've come up with later on in the show because your first ones didn't come off, okay? So just be aware of that. Here come Leeds with Jack Harrison down the left. Good challenge that from Bellerin. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in deep into Arsenal's half, which Alioski is going to take. Nicolas Pepe just there in our pictures. He's been on good form lately, Nicolas Pepe, but he's played a lot of football. It's probably been Mikel Arteta's way of thinking as to why perhaps he wasn't in the team, because he's certainly been doing better. Mikel Arteta's been talking about that as well. And Leeds with their first attempt at goal. It was a good cross from Harrison from the left-hand side. Bamford steered the header goalwards. Just having another look at it. Harrison just shifts it out of his feet, whips it in. It's a really good ball. Bamford gets across Gabriel, but from that angle, it was going to be very difficult to beat Bernd Leno. Didn't have the power on the header either. So never easy. As Xander says in the chat, it's a warning for the defence there. Aubameyang helps that ball on. Here's Ceballos now for Arsenal. Into Emile Smith-Rowe for Cedric. Now Ceballos again. He's looked lively in these early stages. Brought a bit of energy to the midfield, Dani Ceballos. Long ball forward in search of Aubameyang, but it'll end up in the hands of Illan Meslier, the Leeds United goalkeeper. Here's Bellerin for Arsenal into Ødegaard. Now Ceballos. Back to the Norwegian. Lays it off to his Real Madrid buddy. Of course, the pair of them sent out on loan. Perhaps not part of Zidane's plans necessarily, but may still have futures there. Here's Aubameyang inside, leads his penalty area, shows a step over, gets the shot away, and there it is. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang opens the scoring for the Gunners inside 13 minutes. Arsenal lead by a 0-0. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang doing what Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang does best, and that is cutting in on that right foot and finding the bottom corner. Brilliant stuff from Aubameyang. Brilliant goal. Absolutely delighted to see it. Come on. Lovely ball from Xhaka out to the left to find Aubameyang. He showed Ayling a couple of step overs and just squeezes it in between the two Leeds United defenders. Little step over, skip to the right, and between Ayling and Cooper, Aubameyang finds a gap and beats Illan Meslier down at his near post. Arsenal are in front, and it's great to see us get that goal early on and break the deadlock. Mikel Arteta visibly pleased. Aubameyang looking sharp again, and perhaps Aubameyang playing through the middle with that extra kind of emphasis on starting from the left. Perhaps that's the way to go for Arsenal. Let's see. It's got options, Mikel Arteta, because of course Lacazette's been in good form as well. Really, really good stuff from the Gunners. Xander's won the book, I think. Anyone else? Anyone else gone with the 13th minute? I'll double check later on, but Xander, I will be contacting you to get your address, mate, and I will post that out for you either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Here is Cedric. Into Aubameyang. Lovely ball round the corner for Emile Smith-Rowe to chase. Shackleton gets in there and plays it back to Meslier. He'll chip it out to the left-hand side. Ceballos goes down under the challenge of Harrison on this right-hand side. Akshay got it as well. Did Akshay get it as well? Brilliant. If you did, I'm posting out 2 books. Arsenal 1, Leeds United 0, 15 minutes on the clock. It's been an intense start from the Gunners. It's been a lively start. I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And you know, you feel like this is the kind of football that Mikel Arteta has wanted to play. since he took the job. But of course, he hasn't always felt he had the team to do it. I think he kind of was forced into it after a while when being a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more defensive wasn't working anymore. So yeah. However he got there, he's got there in the end. And this is the kind of football I want to watch Arsenal playing. Cyril says, how do we get that book? It is for sale on Amazon, Waterstones, all the major bookstores. But if you want one, here's Odegaard. Sorry, into Emil Smith Rowe. Leeds just about get it away. If you want one, let me get them for you because I get them at writer's price, which is obviously cheaper. And then I can get them out to you for less, basically. So it makes sense. Leeds winning a free kick around about the halfway line after Stuart Dallas went down under the challenge of Xhaka. Look at Xhaka, how dogged he was. Look how dogged he was to win the ball back there. Xhaka's like a man possessed lately under Mikel Arteta. It's partly because of this Xhaka goal as well. Big hello to Thomas, as well to Ray Anderson, to Tofa, to Alex, to Thomas. Yep, Thomas says goal, let's go. And Mr. Tesh, thank you for your kind words regarding the commentary, mate. Really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. It is so, so important. Here is Meslier in the Leeds goal. Plays it out left. Alioski lays it back off to Cooper. Goes back to his goalkeeper. Here is Ayling. He's had to switch his position slightly for Leeds to accommodate with the absence of Calvin Phillips, and I think he's struggled, to be honest, Ayling, with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang so far. Ball played down the right. Saka will chase it. It's cleared away by Leeds. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in just inside the Leeds half on this near side, the right-hand side. Aubameyang looks out of breath already, I've got to say. But it's a brilliant finish. Just seeing a replay again. Couple of step-overs, skips inside, makes the half a yard for the shot, and squeezes it in. Look, it wasn't a great shot. It wasn't the most emphatic finish you'll see from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but he's found the back of the net. That's what matters. Maybe it's the bit of luck that he needed after everything he's had to deal with. After everything he's had to deal with in the last month or so. Kevin Sean says, on the next goal, Harry, announce it like a Mexican commentator. If I remember in the moment, I'll do it. But only if it's an Arsenal goal. Here's Click on the edge of the box for Leeds. Shoots over. Nice work from Leeds, though, to fashion the chance. Ian Freighter says, Harry, can we win? And what's your half-time prediction? Do you mean, what do I think the score will be at half-time? I think it will still be 1-0. And of course we can win. With a mighty Arsenal. And look, Leeds have been great this season. They've been a breath of fresh air, to the Premier League. I've enjoyed watching them. Very much so. I've done a few commentaries on some of their games. You know, as many of you will know, I've been commentating for VSIN in the States on the 5:30 slot games here in the UK every week, and still the best or the most exciting one was their game against Everton. I think they nicked it at the end. I think it was Rafinha that got the goal, if I remember correctly, but really good fun to watch, really good side, and deserve to be where they are in the Premier League. And it's proof, isn't it, that people like, Big Sam, who want to play this really boring defensive style of football, are actually obsolete nowadays, because you can survive, you can, compete by playing football the right way. And Marcelo Bielsa is proof of that, as is somebody like like Graham Potter when Brighton get it right. Here comes Bukayo Saka, though, racing down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Always looking to check back onto his left foot. Manages to keep it despite Harrison's challenge. Goes down after Alioski came across, but the referee and the officials not interested. Leeds trying to come forward now down the left, but Alioski stopped in his tracks and he's forced to go back to Liam Cooper. Here is Jamie Shackleton. Midfielder by trade is Shackleton, but I've seen a little bit of a switch up from Bielsa. Again, as I said, as a result of Calvin Phillips' injury. Bielsa's big on players being able to play in different positions, and you can see why. Given he's got a central midfielder playing at right back, a right back playing at centre back, and a centre back playing at centre mid. You can question his methods, but they're working so far in terms of their overall Premier League campaign. Arsenal have a free kick now. Alioski and Bukayo Saka involved in a bit of a discussion there, as Thomas says. Smash the like button, it doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much, Thomas. Always reminding me to talk about the likes. Header won by Cedric at left back for the Gunners, but Leeds have it back. Here's Alioski. Tony in the comments says, we don't want the refs to rob us again. Let's not even think about that possibility for now. Let's just focus on the fact that we've played pretty well so far. It's been a good performance, a solid performance. But look, Leeds are going to create opportunities at some point in this game, because they always do. So we've got to make sure we take ours. Bit of a shootout, this one. Cedric does really well to shepherd that ball out and win Arsenal a goal kick, with Rafinha bearing down on him. "21 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 1, Leeds United 0. What have you made of the first 20 odd minutes? Let me know in the chat. Have you enjoyed the performance? Graham Sutherland says, can't quite work out where Erdegaard is playing. That game is passing him by at the moment. Yeah, it is a little bit. But you've also got to remember that with Leeds, they play a 4-1-4-1, right? So they have a defensive midfielder whose job it will literally be to mark out that player in that central position. So I think you might see a little bit more from him if he pulls out into a wider area. But the issue here is that, sometimes in modern football and sometimes in football in general, actually, you have to sacrifice someone, i.e. Erdegaard playing in that position means that that player cannot cover the right, he cannot cover the left. And in turn, that gives maybe Bukayo Saka, perhaps, Emile Smith-Rowe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang a little bit more space. So yeah, it's about doing the job for the team as well. I agree with you though. He's not been as lively as he was at the game, in the game at Villa Park when he came on. But yeah, it's his first start. He looks a quality player, and I'm sure we'll see it at some point. Saka goes down under the challenge of 2 Leeds United players. Alioski comes steaming into the back of him. How many fouls is Alioski going to make? Bit of a wind-up merchant is Alioski. Ceballos tries the quick free kick to in behind the Leeds defence for Aubameyang. Aubameyang almost got on the end of it. But just to give you an idea of how Leeds have picked it up a little bit, they've had more possession in the last 10 minutes. 59% of it. Here's Rafinha. See what you guys are saying in the live chat. Greenbone says he's very happy with the start. Abhishek's been impressed with Gabriel so far. Colin Jr. says it's a commanding performance from the Arsenal so far. Topher says decent 20 minutes, but we need to make another hard 5-minute push for another goal. Mr. Tesh says, I used to watch these games in the 70s. I really disliked Bremner, Charlton and Lorimer. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about those guys. A little bit before my time. I say a little bit, I'm just being polite. It's a long way before my time. I wasn't born till 1990, so it's a long way before my time. A good 20 years or so, but I've heard the stories for sure. Ian says we need to score another goal or it'll be the same old story. Wolves all over again. We do need another goal, but we've got to be a little bit patient as well, because Leeds carry a real threat on the counter-attack, and Arsenal have to be aware of that. We don't want to give anything away, getting caught in a transition, because as you've seen from Leeds this season, they're very capable of hurting you in that way. Here comes Shackleton. Crosses the halfway line for Leeds. Chips a ball out to the right for Rafinha. He's one-on-one with Gabriel here. Cedric's getting back. Rafinha across the penalty area. Harrison shifted onto his left foot. Fires at goal, but it's a comfortable stop for Bern. Leno just beats it into the ground before gathering the ball. But that's what I'm talking about. Leeds on the transition, they can hurt you. So Arsenal, although we need another goal, although Arsenal you feel will be a lot more comfortable with a second. You've got to be aware of that threat that Leeds United pose. Not watertight defensively by any stretch of the imagination, Marcelo Bielsa's side, but they are a real threat on the attack. David Luiz, they're just playing it back to Bernd Leno. Now it's Gabriel. Looked a bit more like the Gabriel we've come to love here at the Emirates in these early stages today. You know, we've talked about players coming back from COVID and maybe not looking 100% sharp. You know, you should not discount what an impact that virus can have on you and how long those effects can last. As David Luiz plays a ball forward towards Bukayo Saka. He takes it down eventually. Here's Ødegaard. Oh, looks for Aubameyang, but the pass was slightly miscued by the Norwegian. You can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to hit Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's feet. Here's Ayling back to Ilham Meslier. He'll play it out left towards Harrison. Not sure if he kept that on there. Don't think so. I think a throw-in has been given. Ødegaard with his head in his hands because he knows he could have done better with that pass, but he wants to get involved, Martin Ødegaard, and that's a positive sign. You know, as I said when we signed him, we've brought someone in who is in a very important period of his career, has a point to prove, and will want to do exactly that. You know, we talked about the chances of maybe bringing in somebody like Isco. You know, that was one of the ones that was being touted about on loan. But what's Isco's motivation? Coming to a club like Arsenal at this stage in his career. He's won, 3-4 Champions Leagues. You need players that are motivated, that are on board with the project. And I think that's what we got. Here's David Luiz. Cuts it back to Aubameyang. And Aubameyang's shot from it couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 yards out. Has been blocked by the Leeds defender. It's gone over the bar as a result of the deflection. Really good forward running from David Luiz. He pushed forward brilliantly, just drove through the heart of that Leeds United defence, laid it off to Saka. Lovely reverse ball back to Luiz, and from the right of the 6-yard box, he pulls it back to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang's shot is blocked at the last minute by Luke Ayling, whose deflection takes it over Ilham Meslier's crossbar. Really, really close Arsenal to adding a second goal there. And Saka's going to take the resulting corner. In it comes. Cut out at the near post though by Dallas. Played forward by Ayling. Not a Leeds player in sight. Cedric will get there. Akshay says, Luiz making runs like a winger today. Xander says, Luiz looking for the assist for his FPL. Love that. We know David Luiz can bring that to the party. You know, we know David Luiz going forward is as good as anyone that plays at centre back. You know, he loves to drive forward. He can dictate play from those deep positions. Those are the good things about David Luiz. Does have some moments in him, you know, that have cost us in times gone by. But you know, the last incident where he was at the kind of centre of it was that sending off at Wolves, and I thought that was extremely harsh on David Luiz, so I won't be digging him out for that. Here's Cooper. Helps it back to Meslier under pressure from Aubameyang, and then has to play it out to the right towards Shackleton, but he's miscued the pass as a result of the pressure applied by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That is what closing people down can do for you. Cedric will take the throw-in on the left for Arsenal. Short to Smith Rowe. Cedric gets it straight back. Don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting for? Doesn't cost a thing. That means the absolute world to me because it really, really does help the channel. Don't forget, subscribe as well if you're new. And you guys will be pleased to know that as a result of your support via the membership function, bought myself a really cool lapel mic, which is supposed to be arriving tomorrow. So when I'm sitting in front of the green screen, bringing you guys some better shows, more shows as well. I'm going to be bringing you some more videos, reacting to some more general footballing topics as well, rather than just all Arsenal stuff. Of course, the Arsenal stuff will continue. There's not going to be any less of that, but I'll be bringing you some additional content. A few of you have been asking me to share some views and some thoughts on some wider footballing topics, so I'll be doing that going forward. And when I sit in front of my green screen and I sit down to record those, I will no longer look as though I work in a telesales call centre. So there you go. So thank you for all your support in allowing that to happen. And of course, we're going to get the old Harry beer fridge as well, because will save me running off from streams to go get drinks. Might even push the boat out and get a kettle in here as well. Who knows? Here comes Xhaka. Enough of what I'm planning to do. Let's get back to the game. Luiz searching ball out to the left towards Aubameyang, but pass wasn't quite right. The idea was a good one, I'd say. Arsenal 1, Leeds United 0. Don't forget the Chronicles of a Gooner podcast is sponsored by manscaped.com. So if you want to get your nether regions looking as neat, as tidy, as sharp and as lush as the Emirates Stadium pitch, head over to manscaped.com, enter the promo code 90min20, that's 90min20, and you'll receive 20% off your order plus free shipping. Greenbone says, get a waitress, Harry. I wish. Maybe one day. Don't think the missus will be too happy about that as well. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe, helps it on to Ødegaard. Lays it off to Ceballos. Pass was slightly off from the Norwegian, but Ceballos keeps it alive anyway. It's gone all the way back to David Luiz, who just plays it square to Bernd Leno, who stepped into the defence to make an angle to create an option. Here is Ceballos. Drop it in between the two centre-halves. It's now with Gabriel. Jacques has created an angle. Luiz plays it forward into Saka. Lovely 1-2 with Ødegaard. Saka driving at Leeds' penalty area. Goes past one, goes down under a Leeds United challenge. And the referee has pointed to the spot. Arsenal have been awarded a penalty. Liam Cooper brought Bukayo Saka down. And Arsenal have an opportunity to add a second before the break. Lovely interplay between Saka and Ødegaard. Saka held off Alioski initially. Liam Cooper involved in the tangle. Just have another look at it just to make sure. Cooper just steps across him, yeah, and his foot catches Saka. I think there will be people who are arguing that maybe Saka was already on the way down as a result of the shove, but there is certainly a clip of the foot as well. So, you know, both contributing to bringing Bukayo Saka down. The initial sort of shove from Liam Cooper and the kind of collision and coming together of their feet. So Arsenal now with an opportunity to add a second goal here. It's going to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to take it. Oh, the referee's going over to the screen. So the VAR have obviously had a word with the referee. As I said, I think there's 2 points, you know, that make that a penalty. First of all, there's the upper body contact, and then there's the clip of Bukayo Saka. Surely the referee's not gonna change his mind here. He's been shoved initially. You can see that contact with the upper body, right? And then does he clip Bukayo Saka's feet as well? I think so. Maybe the contact with the feet doesn't come until a little bit later. But he certainly made no attempt to play the ball there, has he, Liam Cooper? No attempt to play the ball whatsoever. What's he decided? No penalty. The referee has changed his mind and it's no penalty. No penalty. The decision after a VAR review has been overruled. The referee's gone over himself. He's had a look and he's decided that that's not a penalty kick. I mean, looking at it again, I thought initially there was a coming together of the feet. And I thought that was the deal breaker. But it seems that maybe... I don't know. Look, I can see why it looks soft. But it's still a penalty for me. I still think it's a penalty. I'm sorry. I'm not going to change away from that. I think it's a penalty. Maybe it's not a stonewall penalty. You know, maybe it's not as clear as some penalties we've seen in recent weeks. But I think it's a penalty, and I'm not happy with that decision. And I'll be even less happy if Leeds find an equaliser from this corner. In it comes Emile Smith-Rowe with the header at the near post. I mean, we talked a lot, didn't we, about the intention of playing the ball after that whole David Luiz thing. And, you could see there, whatever your thoughts on whether it was enough to put Bukayo Saka down, you could see there that Liam Cooper has made zero attempt to play the ball there. All he's interested in doing is blocking off Bukayo Saka. It's a pen for me. Should have been a pen. The initial call was right. Stick with your gut. He's gone over. He's reviewed it. At least he went over, which is better than some of the shit we've seen recently where they just go by whatever the VAR's told them. Not happy with the decision, but it's done now. No point crying over spilt milk. We've got to get on with it. Add a second goal and put this game hopefully beyond doubt. Lovely skill there from Ødegaard. Goes down under the challenge of Harrison. Arsenal get the decision this time. Topher says, I actually can somewhat understand the reverse. Yeah, me too. Like, I think it is a penalty, right? I do. I think it is a penalty. If it were me, I'd give it as a penalty. But I can understand why, upon reflection, it looks a little bit soft. I do get it. I'm not happy with it, and I still feel like it should be going our way. And especially when you take into consideration some of the decisions that have gone against us of late. But it's not the worst. It's not the most scandalous one that we've seen. A lot of you would disagree with that and feel that it is a really, really bad decision. What's encouraging, though, Arsenal 72% of the possession in the last 10 minutes. We are getting back on top here at the Emirates Stadium. But, yeah, there wasn't as much of a coming together in terms of the players' feet and their legs as I thought on first glance. But, as Akshay says in the chat, he's literally just shoved Bukayo Saka and nothing more. He's not tried to play the ball. And that's Overlord of Procrastination in the chat says Saka did dive, though. And I said that when I initially watched it, didn't I? I said it to you guys. I said he looked like he may have already been on his way down. Which maybe has worked against Bukayo Saka here. My phone's going crazy. So I can imagine... I can imagine that people are messaging me about that. Anyway, we continue. Bukayo Saka's gone down this time, and this time we've got a penalty. Just having a look at it. Meslier has made a complete mess of that. Saka's got in there, and Mellier's taken him out inside the box. Well, that ain't a fucking dive, is it? Excuse my language, sorry, but brilliant from Saka to get there. Just get your body in front. Invite the contact. Make the contact happen. And Arsenal do have an opportunity now to add a second goal before half-time and put us in a much more comfortable position. Marcelo Bielsa crouched down as he always tends to be. Not completely happy, but tough shit. It's a penalty and we probably should have had one before. It's going to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to take it. Can he add his second and Arsenal's second goal of the afternoon? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from 12 yards. Arsenal's captain steps up, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and rifles it home. Arsenal are 2 goals to the good. It's Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. Aubameyang has his second, and there's no question about that one. An absolute stonewaller. Bukayo Saka did brilliantly again to earn it. And as I always say, if you close people down, things happen. And there you've seen it. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting his 200th goal in European football's top 5 leagues. Another fantastic achievement for Aubameyang. Sends Meslier completely the wrong way. Finds the corner. And it's a brilliant finish from Aubameyang, who looks as though he's playing with a swagger and a confidence again. And that's what we need. Our main man fit and firing. Delighted we got a penalty in the end. Still unhappy with the decision on the first one. But feels a little bit less of a sickener now that we've added a second. So Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on a hat-trick. Arsenal 2 goals to the good against Leeds United. Really enjoyed this performance so far. Here's David Luiz. Plays it forward towards Aubameyang, but it's Luke Ayling who gets ahead to it. Here's Click in midfield for Leeds. Miscued pass. Emile Smith-Rowe thought about keeping it on, but saw the challenge of the Leeds man coming. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot the Mexican style. Steve Stone says, Harry, Mexican style. Come on, shit, sorry guys, I completely forgot. Totally forgot. I'll be sure to do it next time. I got to remember, and I should have remembered, because a penalty just doesn't happen off the cuff, does it? You know, you got time to build up to that, so I'm disappointed in myself. I'm really disappointed in myself. Maybe we'll get a third. Here's Ødegaard helping it on. Saka chasing down Alioski. Alioski's gone down. Wants a free kick. Is he going to get one? Sometimes, because obviously I'm watching the game with no sound, because I'm trying to, well, I don't want the sound to come through on the broadcast. But sometimes you miss things because you don't hear the referee's whistle, or you don't hear what the commentator's saying. So sometimes you're a little bit late to the party. Here's Ødegaard holding off Struijk and then playing the ball out left to Cedric. Takes it under control and plays it to Emile Smith-Rowe. Arsenal just inside their own half now. Gabriel lets that run and plays it back to Bernd Leno. Leno with a long ball forward, of course, returning to the starting 11 today. Matt Ryan did pretty well at Aston Villa, to be fair to him. But I think you can see, can't you, the benefit of Arsenal not having had to play a game in midweek, which is great. Arsenal looked a little bit jaded in recent fixtures, so it's great to see them kind of looking fit and sharp again. Gabriel plays a long ball forward. It's taken out of the air by Liam Cooper. Now it's with Meslier. Made a real mess of that incident just a few moments ago, which led to Arsenal actually being awarded a penalty this time. Saka again, the man involved. Here's Ødegaard, plays the ball out right to Ceballos. Finds Saka, who's made a good run. Just to the right of the penalty area. Goes into the box. He's having his shirt pulled there. Saka by Alioski. She probably should have gone down. Saka helps it on to Aubameyang now on the left of the penalty area. Chips it in towards the far post. Bellerin heads it back across. Emile Smith-Rowe keeps it alive. Ceballos on the edge of the box. Lovely ball through the legs of the defender. Bellerin from the angle. Bellerin adds a third. Arsenal in dreamland here. 3-0 to the Gunners. Wonderful football that. Brilliant stuff from Arsenal. Brilliant play in tight spaces. They're playing with a real confidence here. A real swagger. Brilliant pass through the legs of the Leeds United defender to put Hector Bellerin in on goal. And from the angle, he drives it low. He drives it hard. It's a brilliant finish from Bellerin. Great run from Saka initially across the penalty area. Had his shirt pulled for certain. Found Aubameyang on the left. Aubameyang chipped it back across. Bellerin heads it back towards Emile Smith-Rowe. Keeps it alive with a really neat touch. Plays it to Ceballos through the legs of the defender. Bellerin takes a touch to get it out of his feet and get away from the Leeds United man. I think it was Alioski. And he drives it low and hard into just inside the near post. And Arsenal have a third and go into half time now, surely with a very, very commanding lead. Arsenal 3, Leeds United 0. Brilliant Brilliant stuff. Here is Harrison. Now it's with Cooper at the back for Leeds. Excellent goal that. Really, really enjoyed that one. Really enjoyed that one. And as did you guys in the chat as well. You can see it. We're getting our Arsenal back. What a place. Oh no, I forgot the Mexican again. I forgot the Mexican again. How could I? How could I? Right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a post-it note. Where's my post-it notes? Don't tell me I used them all. I had loads yesterday. Mexican. Emile Smith-Rowe heads away that Leeds corner. Here it is with Click now. Arsenal looking to break out from defence. Here's Rafinha. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you do. It's really, really important. Here come Leeds, still alive here. Here's at Shackleton into Harrison. Look, I've written a post-it note and I've written Mexican on it, right? I've written Mexican on it and I'm going to stick it here at the bottom of my TV screen. Okay? To remind me. Can't believe I flipping missed it out 3 times. Terrible. Here's Rafinha on the left for Leeds. Plays it infield. Here's Stuart Dallas. Still got it here for Leeds and plays it left to Alioski. Tawana Thongola says, Harry, don't think commentators are supposed to celebrate. This is my channel. I can do what I want. Half time here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 3, Leeds United 0. Really impressive half from the Gunners. We're going to come on to talking about it in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to take a short 2-minute break. Literally, it will not be longer than 2 minutes. So don't go anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere today. I don't have to go inside because I've got my drink right here. So give me 2 minutes and I'll be back with you. We'll talk through that first half and we'll look ahead to a second half. Be back in a mo. Hello and welcome back to the live watch along of Arsenal versus Leeds United. It's Arsenal 3, Leeds United 0 at half time. Brilliant. Really enjoyed that first period. You know, it's nice to see Arsenal playing with that kind of intensity, with that kind of energy, with that kind of fluency, with that kind of intent. That's what you want to see from an Arsenal side, particularly when we're at home. So yeah, really pleased with what we've seen in that first period. Big shout out to the Granit Xhaka as well. There we go. He's doing great as well. Couple of you won the book, if I'm not mistaken, with the first goal. I think it was Xander. And forgive me, the other one's gone out of my... Akshay, was it Akshay? Let me know. Don't worry, I'll check the chat later to get them sent out anyway. Don't worry about it. Just wanted to congratulate you once more. What a Valentine's Day. You know, I was thinking today that, you know, if some of you saw my Twitter post, I've got two Valentines today. The mighty Arsenal and my wife. And I thought that one of them might let me down today. And I'm lucky because it seems like at the moment, none of them are going to let me down. Brilliant. Right. Let's get your questions in the live chat. Let's see some of your questions. Let's see what you guys have been saying as well about that first half. Don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. I think we're on 76 likes, but it would be great to get to 100 between now and the end of the stream. It'll be fantastic. So, I'd be delighted if you could do that. Just having a look at the penalty incident that we were given in the end. And Meslier just kicks through Saka, doesn't he? As Saka gets his body in the way. The more I'm seeing of the first one, the more I understand why it was overturned. And I'd probably be reacting very differently if Arsenal were in a position whereby that was what we needed to win the game. But I do, you know, having seen it a couple of times, I still don't necessarily agree with it. I still probably just about think it's a penalty, but I can get it and I can understand why the referees maybe changed his decision. And look, let's be honest, you know, none of us really like the way that VAR is being applied at the moment. It's inconsistent. You know, it's a really good tool that we're seeing being used to good effect in other major European leagues, and for some reason in the Premier League we just can't seem to get it right. And it's, you know, it's frustrating, but what I will say is I do prefer the referee to go over and have a look and make his mind up. If he does that, then I've got at least most of the time, and I say most of the time, a little bit more respect for the decision. As Akshay says in the chat, I think it was soft, but it was a penalty just about. You know, Arsenal 3 goals to the good now, and there's no point crying over spilt milk. And, you know, when the result goes your way and you're performing this well, then it's not really that much of a big issue. But, you know, it was frustrating at the time. There's no doubt about that. Let's go over to the live chat and see what you guys are saying. Big welcome back to Scotty22, who says, how you doing, Harry? Ain't been about for a bit, had some stuff to deal with. Come on, you Gunners, this is what I like to see, taking games to teams and not sitting back. Completely agree. Alex McCarthy says, oh, Dan Potts and 0-0. Did Dan Potts actually predict a 0-0 between Arsenal and Leeds United? I haven't seen his team talk show, but if he did, then I'll be dropping him a line straight after this show. So let me know. Just confirm that. Did he actually predict a 0-0 between two sides that have the attacking intent that us and Leeds do? I'm surprised at that. Steve Stone says, if we had 11 Sakas, we would win the quadruple. Question is, would the league be over by Christmas? Love that. What else have we got here? There was a question about Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe. Do you think either Odegaard or Emile Smith-Rowe come off early? Of the two, I'd probably take off Emile Smith-Rowe early because obviously he's played a lot more football. He's our player, as selfish as that sounds. But because he's our player, because he's played a lot more football, I think he's clearly the one that's more in need of a break and a bit of a rest. So yeah, I'd consider it, particularly if, you know, we're 3-0 up with, 20, 30 minutes to go. I think it'll be well worth doing. I think there are a couple of others as well. I think Xhaka's played so much football lately as well. I wouldn't be against him coming off. If we had an alternative, I think Cedric's played a lot. I think Bellerin's played a lot. So those are players that you could potentially look at as well and think maybe they need a bit of a break. But we do have options on the bench today. That's the good thing about this side. Just kind of quickly going back to that substitutes bench, you're talking about a really, really strong one today. You're talking about one that includes Lacazette, Willian, Holding, Pepe, Chambers, Pablo Mari, El Neni, Matt Ryan and Gabriel Martinelli. I'd actually like to see Martinelli get a run out. If Emile Smith-Rowe is going to come off at some point, I'd enjoy seeing Martinelli come in, because with Martinelli, a lot of people have been calling for him to play more and have been a bit upset and disappointed at the fact that he hasn't played or hasn't been kind of called upon first ahead of the likes of like Willian. But I think that they are being protective of him because of the injury that he's coming back from. So for me, if Emile Smith-Rowe is or anybody else in that front line going to come off during the course of the second half, it feels like a good time to give Martinelli a bit of a run out as well. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Harry Rollo says he'll hit the like button for me. Thank you so much. What else have we got here? Just having a look. Big hello to Rui Rodriguez, who says, hey Harry, just popped in to drop a like. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you so much, man. Xander says, Grizz talking tribe on Twitter. Saka levels above and we ain't going to keep him. I have to have a word with Grizz as well. I've got a lot of people to set right, I think, this evening. Give me something to do at least. What else have we got? Bavia says, when's Willian coming on? You don't mind him coming on so much if we are 3 goals to the good, I guess. Much better than him coming on when we're chasing a game, that's for sure. Guys, we're 8 likes away from hitting the 100 likes, so make sure you smash the like button if you haven't done so already. It is really, really helpful and really helps the channel to grow, so really, really appreciate you doing that. Equally, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel, getting access to our members only content as well as our Discord server and a couple of other little bits and pieces, then feel free to click the link in the description. I'd absolutely love to have you. Your support allows me to spend more time working on this channel and more time on the content that I'm bringing you. So yep, if you fancy joining, if you feel like the content's worthy of your support, then I'd really, really appreciate it. So please check it out. Ray Anderson says he didn't know the Xhaka figurine was so small. Yeah, it's tiny. Look, that's what happens. Dan Potts, he bought this for me, Secret Santa. I'm sure there were bigger ones available, but he's probably being a tight ass and doesn't want to spend any money on me. I think that's probably what it is. But yeah, it's tiny. Look, you put it next to my finger, you can see. Nevertheless, it's doing the job. Imagine how well Xhaka would be playing if I had a full-size one. Might have to invest in a few of those for some other players, I think. Must remember, if Arsenal do score again, to drop the Mexican commentary. Really disappointed in myself that I forgot to do that a couple of times. So I'll be sure to do it. What the listeners want is what the listeners will get. Just having a look at that Aubameyang goal again on replay. Second half is fast approaching here. Can Arsenal go and add a couple more goals? It'll come as a real confidence boost, wouldn't it? After what's gone on in the last few weeks. I think the team have been playing better. The results haven't always been there, but the performances have certainly been better. And I think they're starting to really believe in what it is they're doing now. And also, as a group of players, they'll be enjoying playing this way a hell of a lot more than the way they were playing not so long ago, where it was a back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. It was very slow. It was a little bit one-dimensional. I think the Arsenal players will be delighted now that they found a way of playing it, which still brings a balance, because defensively Arsenal have still been much improved. I know we conceded a couple of goals at Wolves. The first one was a penalty that should never have been, and the second one was an absolute worldie from João Moutinho that nobody in the world is stopping. It was a brilliant goal. And then, of course, at Villa, defensive error where we kind of gifted We gifted Ollie Watkins with a goal, and so you look at that and you still have to say and have to feel that as a defensive unit, Arsenal are still a lot better than they have been in recent seasons. Second half's about to get underway. Leeds players just being put through their paces by Marcelo Bielsa's training staff. Bielsa doesn't look a happy man. Never is when his team are losing. He's one of those people who genuinely loves what he does. He makes it the centre of his universe. And, you know, I admire Bielsa a lot. I really like him. Really like him. Some of the Arsenal players going through a little bit of a warm-up routine as well. Down by the side of the pitch. Aubameyang looking sharp, looking fit, looking happy. Delighted to see him back and in and amongst the goals. Leeds are going to make a double substitution as it goes. Tyler Roberts and Helder Costa are coming on. We just await confirmation as to who it is they are replacing. Tyler Roberts looked a bit of a prospect in the Championship. Hasn't really hit it off though when he's played in the Premier League so far. I think Click is one of the players who's making way, and I think Harrison's the other. And I'm just guessing that based on the squad numbers. I'm not an expert on Leeds squad numbers, but I think that's the case. Yep, Harrison and Click make way. Costa and Roberts are on, and we are back underway here at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal versus Leeds United. The Gunners currently leading by 3-0. We've hit 100 likes, so thank you so much, but keep them coming if you haven't hit them already. Really appreciate it. Mr. Tesh says, is the post-it note also reminding you to get some tacos and tequila? Do you know what? I had some tacos a few days ago. Love them. Absolutely love them. And I think I might have... No, it's not tequila. I've got a bottle of something that I just literally put on my shelf as I walked in here to do this stream. But yeah. Big thank you to Thomas, just urging people to hit the like button. Really appreciate it. When you look at how many people are currently watching and how many likes we've got, it's a pretty good return rate. So I'm delighted with that. Thank you all so much. It is very much appreciated. Here's Gabriel just conceding a throw-in, which Leeds take quickly. Here's Helder Costa on the right flank for Marcelo Bielsa's side. Delivers across with his left foot towards Patrick Bamford. It was Gabriel that got ahead to it. It goes up and in the air, and it's caught by Bernd Leno. Graham saying the clock. The clock's working, Graham. I made sure I did it on time this half. I proper made sure I did it. Here's Saka. Oh, lovely. 1-2 with Aubameyang. Now Saka driving at the heart of the Leeds United defence. He's on the edge of the box. Gets a shot away. Blocked by Cooper. It will come back to Saka. Tyler Roberts does well to get back and win the ball for Leeds, but Arsenal have dispossessed him. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe inside the penalty area. Looks to Ben one. Puts it to the far post where Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is waiting. And Arsenal add a fourth. Aubameyang's got his hat-trick. That's what I'm talking about. My striker, my captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Goal! Goal, 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 goal! Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang! Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang! Goal! I almost forgot to do it. There we go. Love it. I'm not sure what Smith-Rowe was trying to do here. Let's have a look at the replay. Was Smith-Rowe trying to pick out Aubameyang, or was he trying to find the far post? Nah, it looks like he's trying to pick him out. It looks like he's trying to pick him out. Emil Smith-Rowe is an absolute joy to watch. An absolute joy. Look at that. Goal, 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 goal. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Come on. 4-0. 4-0 to the Gunners. And Lacazette, look at Lacazette sitting there applauding his teammates. He knows what that means to Aubameyang. He knows what that means to the Gunners as well. 4 goals to the good here. We are in cruise control. That is what I love to see. I almost forgot to do the Mexican again though. I didn't do it initially, did I? I remembered a few seconds into my reaction to the goal, but we got there in the end. Whatever you guys want, you guys will get. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 0. It's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's 10th club career hat-trick, but interestingly only his first in the Premier League. So there you go. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang making history with his first Premier League hat-trick for the Gunners. Here come Leeds on the attack. Shot from Rafinha. Good save from Bernd Leno. Had to dive to his left. It was a shot from distance from Rafinha. Good save from Bernd Leno. It was bouncing. And Rafinha with his right foot gets plenty behind it. It's a good dive to his left from Bernd Leno. Gets two strong hands to it. Really, really good stop from the German. Lots of you enjoying the Mexican commentary. Oh dear. I can see some of you asking for different ones in the chat. I don't even know what they sound like. So I'm going to struggle to bring those to the party. But I will have a little bit of a look, have a bit of research. And maybe we'll check it out for next week. Maybe we'll score some goals next week and have more to celebrate. Helder Costa running in behind Cedric here, but Cedric does well. A little bit awkward for Cedric there because he has obviously he's having to play on his wrong side. And Graham says in the chat, there goes the Oba can't play down the middle theory. I think what's interesting though is I think he has played obviously technically through the middle, but if you look at where his first goal come from, right, you know, the first goal came from him popping up on the in that inside left channel where he's done so well lately, okay, where he's scored the majority of his goals over the last sort of 18 months. And the second goal came from him popping up on the right, you know, to the right of the goal. So Aubameyang can start through the middle, but he will do damage in those inside channels. And, you know, as long as that central space is being backfilled by an attacking midfield player or a winger coming in, you know, that's absolutely fine. But Aubameyang, although on paper he started through the middle today, he has been operating, I think, largely, you know, largely from those inside spaces, inside left and inside right. Look, you're seeing a replay of the first goal here, drifting in from the left. The penalty, obviously it's a penalty. And the third goal comes from Aubameyang pulling out to the right and getting himself in some space for Emile Smith-Rowe to pick him out. So, yeah, I think Aubameyang, look, he can play through the middle if he's going to play the way he's playing tonight, which is, look, you see him now, right? He's come all the way out to the left-hand side for that goal kick. So, although on paper, what I'm trying to say is, although on the team sheet he looks as though he's playing through the middle, he is very much gearing his game to one of the flanks. He's allowing Saka to come in from the right and occupy central areas. And he's allowing Smith-Rowe to do that as well. So it's not quite as it seems on the paper, if that makes sense. Let's have a look at what some of you guys are saying. Aaron says, is that going to be a Chronicles soundbite, Harry? Do you know what? I might cut that out and do something with it. Maybe we'll stick it in the intro of the podcast to put people off within 30 seconds of the show starting. Lovely work from Ceballos there. Gets back and makes a challenge. But Leeds United are still on the attack here. Here's Stuart Dallas from just inside the box. He sees his shot blocked by Hector Bellerin. Can Arsenal go and add a fifth? Here's Saka. Plays a nice ball infield for Xhaka. Just puts his foot on it and then plays it square to Martin Ødegaard. On the halfway line is the Norwegian. Here's David Luiz. Coming forward, he's on the edge of Leeds' box here. Aubameyang with the reverse pass, looking for Smith-Rowe. Ball ends up back at the feet of Illan Meslier, whose clearance goes only as far as Granit Xhaka. Goes down under the challenge of Dallas. He does that a lot, doesn't he, Xhaka? He just kind of steps in front of people and then hits the deck. And he does that to win free kicks. He does it so often. Leeds are going to make another change here. Their third and final change is Alioski, who's going to make way. You do wonder if that's because Bielsa hasn't been impressed with his performance. It hasn't been good, to be fair. And Niall Huggins comes on. Will Huggins play? I think Huggins will play midfield and Dallas will go left back, would be my guess. If you're wondering why I know so much about Leeds United, I spent a significant chunk of the last 14 months during my role with Snack Media covering Leeds United as well as Arsenal. So quite clued up on Bielsa and his ways and Leeds and their current group of players. Knowledge is power, as they say. It's always good to know your stuff. Leeds have a throw-in in the right back position. With this game, I guess, seemingly done and dusted. Might start turning my focus to what to eat for dinner tonight. That's the big thing. Giving the missus a night off. Valentine's Day and all that. I think I might order in an Indian. I fancy an Indian. Bit of Serie A. She doesn't know about the Serie A yet, but the fact that there's a nice meal coming along might take away from that. Here's Saka driving forward. Dispossessed those. Won his team a free kick in the end. He was pulled back, according to the officials. Creambone says Alioski's probably begged for that sub. He's still walking around the bloody pitch. Alioski, it's absolutely chucking it down with rain at the Emirates Stadium. Is it raining here? It's raining a little bit here, and I'm not too far from the Emirates. Arsenal have a free kick, which Granit Xhaka's going to take. It's central. A little bit too far out for a shot, though. That's the problem. What's he going to do? Chip this into the penalty area? It's one of those ones where it's a little bit difficult because the angle's not there. But he stands it up towards the far post anyway. Luke Ayling gets ahead on it. Aubameyang will just shield it out and win his team a corner kick. Graham Sutherland says, halloumi. Yeah, when you're Cypriot, Graham, and you eat it all the time, the novelty wears off a little bit, I've got to be honest. Graham says he's doing a korma if you fancy it. Korma's not spicy enough for me, Graham. I like to eat spicy Indian food. Arsenal with a corner kick, which Bukayo Saka's going to deliver in towards the far post. Gabriel rises, goes up for a challenge with Cooper. Huggins, the Leeds sub, will get there first. Tries to play it down the line. He's gone out for an Arsenal throw-in inside Leeds United's half, which Ceballos wanted to take quickly. Didn't in the end. Left it for Cedric. Now Emil Smith-Rowe making some, or showing some movement. It's into Smith-Rowe. Holds off the defender really well. Protects the ball brilliantly. Cedric comes forward. Goes down under the challenge of Helder Costa. Costa looks to clear it. Takes a deflection off Smith-Rowe. And now Tyler Roberts will chip it down the line towards Bamford. Ball's gone out. What's the decision? It's gone Leeds' way. Much to the frustration of Mikel Arteta. Here's Meslier. Long ball forward towards Patrick Bamford, met by the head of Cedric. Here's Tyler Roberts now. Knocks it past Cedric, but couldn't get to it on the other side because it's ended up going out for a throw-in. Marcelo Bielsa just refuses to go and sit in the dugout. He's getting absolutely soaked, Bielsa. He's pulled out the woolly hat now. Graham says he thinks we're a far more attacking team with Ceballos in it. Yeah, I think so, but I think he's got to be careful, Mikel, hasn't he, in terms of that balance, because, as we say, defensively, we are a better side, but that comes as, you know, there's sacrifices need to be made in order to maintain that, and I think that's why he hasn't really started of late, and it's been very much Partey and Xhaka. Look, I still think Partey and Xhaka is the go-to pairing, but it's good to see Ceballos come in and, you know, give a good account of himself, and you know, stake a claim for a position in the team going forward. And there's plenty of games to come. You know, the Europa League coming up as well, which is very important for us now. It's probably where the priority lies. Oh, met by a Leeds header. It's Pascal Struijk, and Leeds have a goal. They've pulled one back through Struijk. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 1. I was just talking about how improved we've been defensively. In came the delivery from the left-hand side. It was Rafinha's ball in. He makes a good run, Struijk, and David Luiz from a standing position just can't cope with Struijk in the air. He can't live with him. It's a really good Powerful header from the Dutchman. Beats Bernd Leno at the near post, and Leeds have a goal back. Now, I prefer the score 5-1 Arsenal, so let's sort this out. But yeah, look. Disappointing to concede a goal because, you don't want to concede goals, but let's not lose much sleep over it, man. I mean, we're in a really good position at the moment. 4-1 up. It's been a good performance overall. Let's not do the Arsenal thing and have a meltdown about it. I see a couple of people sort of questioning David Luiz's role in that. I mean, for me, you've got to pin the blame on the people who were supposed to be marking the Leeds man in the first place, because when he gets a march on you, when he gets steals a march on you like that, then it's going to be difficult from a standing position to match the intensity in the jump. And plenty of you will be disappointed to learn that Willian is stripped and ready and about to enter proceedings for the Gunners. Maybe Willian can score on a day like this and get his Arsenal career up and running. I don't know. Xander says, good God, here comes Willie. Yeah, and I am disappointed that Martinelli isn't going to be the man to come on. I am disappointed about that, but can we really sit and dig out the manager when we're winning by 4-1 in the Premier League? I don't think you can. Steve Stone says, Arteta, you need to be thinking about some Willian-less subs. Tawana says, come on you Gunners, I hope they don't panic, they're in control. Greenbone says, Harry, do you think Danny will get a contract at the end of the season? Well, it all depends if Real Madrid are willing to sell him and if the asking price of Real Madrid is one that Arsenal feel is worthwhile. When you consider that Sabas is not currently a regular starter in the side, if it is true that Real Madrid are looking for around about 20-25 million for him, and you consider Arsenal's financial state, would you do that? Not sure. I think the circumstances will determine whether that one happens, rather than it being like a clear desire to keep him. Here's Aubameyang, steps in, field Ayling does really well. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he's inside, leads his box, plays it to Erdegaard, shoots from the angle. Good save from Meslier. Cedric fires back on goal and it's just wide. Erdegaard with a chance there to potentially open his Arsenal account. It was a difficult angle. It was going to have to be some finish to beat the goalkeeper from there. But brilliant work from Aubameyang again. And guess where Aubameyang picked up the ball? On the left. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang picking it up, driving inside. Erdegaard struck towards goal, but having seen the replay, I think the Norwegian was just offside there. Just about offside. Emil Smith-Rowe is the man to make way. Another really good performance from him, but as we said earlier on, he can certainly do with a bit of a breather. Willian is the man to come on, not Martinelli. Let's see how that pans out. Look, I hope Willian has a good game and people kind of get off his back a bit and we can start seeing the player that we thought we were getting, because there's no doubt that prior to joining Arsenal, Willian was a top quality operator, and it's just frustrating that it's not really worked out for him here. Here's at Meslier in the Leeds goal. Finds Cooper. Plays it left towards Huggins. To Huggins. Matt Ginley says, let's come on to this from Bellerin first. He's inside the box. Still got it, Bellerin, after a really poor touch, but the attack breaks down. Eventually, Leeds will play their way out. Matt Ginley says, it's a joke. Willian is crap. How's he getting on in front of Martinelli? Harry, wake up. His days are done. I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I'm saying that I think he was a good player before he joined Arsenal. It's not really worked out for him just yet. But, am I going to sit here and dig out the manager about one substitution he's made in a game that we've won with 25 minutes to go, with 3 goals to the good, 4-1 up? I just don't think it's right to sit and dig out Mikel Arteta about that substitution. You know, if that substitution impacts the game, makes a difference, different story. But at this point, it's neither here nor there, is it? Rafinha cuts it back to the edge of the box. Helder Costa looking to cushion it for Shackleton, who's back in the midfield now for Leeds. Bellerin concedes a corner in the end. Our Kumar says, could Martinelli have a slight injury, hence why he hasn't come on? Maybe, we don't know. And this is the point. You know, this is the bloody point. Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know, we didn't know that Kieran Tierney had a bloody knee injury until that was revealed in the press conference the other day. Leeds with another corner into the box. This time Xhaka gets the head to it though. Still alive here for Leeds United. Here's Tyler Roberts. Now it's with Stuart Dallas. Aaron says, Harry, you should ask Dan Potts for a Willian figure as well. Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. Kevin John says, if Willian scores, Harry will do a Portuguese commentary. I don't know what that's meant to sound like, but I will look it up for future reference, just to, you know, try and get it as accurate as possible. It's really difficult trying to order your dinner online during a match, especially when your phone's playing up. No, I'm just kidding. Here comes Patrick Bamford down the right hand side for Leeds United. Lovely ball through the legs of Gabriel towards, I think it was Shackleton who'd made a move forward. Gabriel goes down after a push from Bamford. Not sure what the decision is here. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Into Bamford. Well done by Xhaka to win it back. Here's Ceballos on the edge of our box. Plays a ball forward towards Bellerin, who'd made a run. It's back with Rafinha. Shoots from the edge of the box. It's low and it's wide of Bernd Leno's post. Cody S says, how's Pepe got a feel though? Finally in sparkling form, and Willian gets on before him. Maybe Martinelli before him. Looks like trying to get him back around the squad, but Willian first. No, Cody, I think the Pepe thing is very much about him being rested. I think that is what Mikel is trying to do here. I think he's resting the player because he's played a lot of football lately. I don't think the intention would have ever been to bring him on today, if I'm honest. So if we can get away with it, if we can win the game without using the Holdings, the Pepes, you know, those players that have been given a bit of a breather today, I don't think that's a problem at all. Leeds are looking better at the moment, but you know, you still like to think that with a 3-goal cushion and less than 25 minutes to go, Arsenal are very much in the driving seat here. Mikel Arteta watching on. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. Very, very important for the channel. If you're interested in becoming a member and getting access to our members only content as well as some other perks, feel free to click the link in the description. We'd love to have you on board. Saka just unable to get that under control. Aubameyang chasing down Ayling. It's now with Huggins, who seems to be playing at right back for Leeds United. Shackleton, as I said a little bit earlier on, has moved back into that midfield. Here is Ayling into Struijk. Now Huggins on the right. Looks to just cross the halfway line for Leeds United. He's stopped just shy of it. Here is Cooper. Plays it left to Stuart Dallas. Here comes Tyler Roberts. He'll cut it back to Helder Costa. Leeds have a second. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. Marcelo Bielsa's side have found a second goal. And this could end up being a very, very nervy 20 minutes for Arsenal. It's really, really weak, sloppy defending, I'd say. Rafinha plays a ball in behind Hector Bellerin. It's cut back to Helder Costa, and you probably feel like Granit Xhaka's got to get closer to Costa there. It's kind of a half-assed challenge from Xhaka. I know he's behind him, and you can't do a great deal when you're behind a player nowadays, because any contact is usually, deemed to be a foul. But I don't know. Just really frustrating to find ourselves in this position now, having been 4-0 up. It's not to say Leeds are going to come back. It's not to say they won't either. Ayling plays this ball forward. Helder Costa helps it on towards Bamford. Gabriel gets a really, really important toe in there. Here's Shackleton. Now Huggins puts a cross into the penalty area. Bernd Leno will come and claim it. Mr. Tesh says this is typical, not concentrating in key parts of the game. Marquee Signing says we're effing this up. Gooner says Willian on, Arsenal collapse. It's a bit harsh. You could probably ask questions of Bellerin and that ball being played in behind him if you're going to pick on someone. Certainly don't feel as though Willian has been the culprit here. I see a yellow card shown by the official to Pascal Struijk for that foul on Martin Ødegaard. It's his second booking of the season, that. It's a good ball into the Norwegian, and he just let it run across him and went to turn and get in behind the player. Akshay says Bellerin caught napping a bit, right? Yeah, I think it's a hard one with Bellerin. This is not me defending him, but his role under Mikel Arteta is very different to what it has been in previous years. I don't know if any of you guys watch a fair bit of Manchester City, but the way the fullbacks become inverted quite often, that's what Bellerin's asked to do. And sometimes when you tuck in a little bit too much, you can see balls played into those areas, into those channels, and he just wasn't up with the pace there. Once Rafinha got in behind, I think it was Rafinha, or whoever it was, got in behind, Leeds were in a really good position to pick someone out, making a run into the penalty area. Helder Costa's got blood pouring from his lip. I think he's been involved in a bit of a collision, but the game will continue for now. Rafinha's gone down injured for Leeds United, and I think Bellerin's going to put the ball out of play, give everybody a breather, and it's what Arsenal could do with at the moment, to be fair. Rafinha's still down. I'm not sure exactly what is the issue with Rafinha. We'll just have a look at this replay. I think he just got caught by Hector Bellerin. I think he was winded in the end. Bernd Leno. Play it out. He's with Cedric now. Matt Ginley says, surely we can see this game out. Look, I think we can. Let's not get to panic stations right away. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have conceded those couple of goals. But we have now. Let's just manage the game as best as we can and get to the end of it. As here's Bellerin now to the right of Leeds' penalty area. Ball into the box towards Saka. Really well cut out by Liam Cooper, who was stretching there. It was a good ball from Bellerin. In towards the centre of the 6-yard box, and Liam Cooper got a really, really important foot in. Arsenal have a corner now. Willian is going to take it. Gabriel's forward. Saka being asked to sit on the edge of the box is probably because of his pace, or to drop a little bit deeper just in case Leeds break away here. In comes the delivery, met by the head of Rafinha, helped on there by Huggins, the substitute, but Ødegaard will pick it up on the halfway line and plays it back to Bernd Leno. He clears it long again. Aubameyang is chasing this. Ayling will maybe thought about giving it to his goalkeeper, didn't in the end. Ayling goes down. He's won his team a free kick. I didn't think there was anything in that from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, if I'm honest. Adam says his heart rate has gone up. Yeah, you and me both, mate. We've got 15 minutes or so here. I think, do I tempt fate in saying it? But I think we might just about be okay. Here's Ødegaard, takes that out of the air. Turns and plays it into Aubameyang. Back towards Xhaka. But it was Patrick Bamford who was quicker to the ball. Xhaka's looked a little bit leggy in this second half, you know. Here's Bamford. Goes down under the challenge of Cedric in the penalty area. Leeds United want a penalty. They're not going to get it. Certainly wasn't a penalty in my opinion. I think the pair of them just did really, really well to shut out the space for Bamford to run into. Gabriel and Cedric, a combination of the pair, just preventing Patrick Bamford from getting into that position. Xhaka's forward now. Challenge from Tyler Roberts. He's back doing his defensive duties. Leeds are working really, really hard at the moment. Here's Xhaka now on the edge of the penalty area into Aubameyang. First time, it's off the post. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang coming really close to adding his fourth and Arsenal's fifth. Here's Ødegaard now on the edge of the penalty area. He shoots, deflected up and over Illan Mellier's goal. It's going to be an Arsenal corner. Opportunity there though for the Gunners to put this game beyond any doubt. Just seeing that Patrick Bamford penalty appeal. It's never a penalty. Cedric and Gabriel do really well, as I say, to close out that space. Cedric just gets in between Bamford and the ball. And that was it. Bamford goes down. He wants a penalty. He's not going to get it. And then Aubameyang sees his effort come crashing off of the woodwork. In comes the corner. Meslier gathers it with ease. But this is where Arsenal have to be careful on these transitions. Here is Shackleton. Now it's with Struijk, Leeds United's first goal scorer. Steve Stone says this has got draw written all over it. Don't say that, Steve. Don't say that. Don't say that. Here is Dallas. Started the game in midfield, but now playing on the left. Arsenal dispossessed Leeds once again, this time on the halfway line. Here's Willian. Infield for Xhaka. Tries to play it through the legs of Pascal Struijk, but is unable to retain possession. Leeds unable to do so themselves, and they've conceded a throw-on. Mikel Arteta applauding his team. Mikel Arteta's going to bring on Mohamed El-Neni, and he's going to take off Martin Ødegaard. Looking to just shore things up by bringing on Mohamed El-Neni. Ødegaard's looked okay in stages. I think he'll be a little bit underwhelmed. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with the way he's played. But I think this is very much a let's bring on an additional insurance policy kind of substitution in Mohamed El-Neni so he could sit there. Gooner says should be Xhaka coming off. He looks knackered. I agree. He does look knackered. I mentioned it earlier on, didn't I, that he's played a hell of a lot of football lately. Never really comes off. He's been so important that I think you're right. I think you're starting to see those effects in his legs now. Here's Saka inside Leeds' penalty area. Looks to go past Cooper. Cooper did well to cut it out. Ceballos pressing really well. Bellerin. Saka still alive inside Leeds' box. Is played clear in the end by Rafinha. Arsenal have it back though. A few of you in the chat saying that you think Odegaard did okay. Yeah, I thought he did okay. Look, I thought it was a little bit underwhelming at certain points. But as his first start, let's give the guy a chance. Oh, Willian tries to play the ball back to Saka, who probably should have made the run, to be fair. Willian will get abused for that, but the reality is that Saka probably should have continued that run. Around about 11 minutes of normal time remaining here. Here's Aubameyang. Lovely layoff for Ceballos. Brought a real energy to the midfield, hasn't he, Ceballos, today? You know, every time he's been on the ball, he's looked like making something happen. Mikel Arteta watching on. Here's Willian. Now Luiz. Arsenal have just wrestled back control of this one in the last few minutes, you'd have to say. Here's Gabriel. Crossing the halfway line for the Gunners. Finds Granit Xhaka. Puts his foot on it. Checks back inside. You'll be pleased to know I've successfully managed to order my dinner. Was going to do it afterwards, but then when we went four goals up, I thought, well, why not do it now? But in true Arsenal fashion, we conceded a couple. I got distracted. And yeah, took far longer than it should have. Here's Liam Cooper at left centre back. Dallas helps it on. Emmanuel Rodriguez says Benfica. I hope bloody not. You know, just quickly touching on that Benfica tie. It's absolutely ludicrous that Arsenal have to travel 700 miles further to play their home leg than they do for the away one. It's absolute madness. I mean, I love Greece. I love Athens, you know, as much as anybody. But to send Arsenal over there is absolute madness. Madness, especially when Athens is in lockdown. But it's all about the money. UEFA having to fund these games and paying these respective football associations handsomely for taking the games on. It seems the Greek and the Italians are pretty keen for the payoff. Rafinha puts this free kick into the box for Leeds. It's straight into the arms of Bern Leno. Kevin Jordan says, Mexican dinner, Harry? Nope, gone for the Indian. Gone for the Indian. Probably over-ordered, but is what it is. It's Valentine's Day and all that. Treat myself, if no one else. Arsenal have a throw-in. David Luiz is not happy with something. Bellerin's going to take the throw-in. In the right back position. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2 at the moment. Arsenal with another throw-in, and they're in no rush to take it. Why would they be? The 2 goals conceded obviously feels a bit like a black mark on the game, and, you know, a bit of a downer, but shouldn't take away from the fact we've done really well. Here's Saka to add a 5th. It's off the post. Will it fall to Cedric? No. Then it falls to Ceballos. I think the referee's blown his whistle, though. Bukayo Saka coming ever so close to adding Arsenal's 5th. That would have put the game beyond doubt. No doubt about that. Lovely play between Saka and El Nene. Willian helped it on. Saka was just offside. He looked for the far corner, come off the post, fell to Cedric, and then Ceballos turned it in, but the offside flag went up in the end against Bukayo Saka, and it was just about the right decision. He's got the most goals in the Premier League for a teenager this season, Bukayo Saka. 5. He's out ahead of the others by a good 3 goals. Is Bukayo Saka. He's been really, really good, hasn't he? Really grown and improved all the time. And I love the fact that he's playing in a more attacking position now than he was in years gone by, or in months gone by. Didn't really enjoy Bukayo Saka playing at left back. Did okay, did a job, served his purpose. I think that education's been really valuable to him, though. You know, the education of playing regular first team football. But we're now really seeing the best of him on that right wing. Big hello to Jordan, who's joining us. To Abhishek as well. I hope you guys are well. Here is Stuart Dallas in midfield for Leeds. See where we are on the likes. We're on 129. Can we get it to 150 between now and the end of the stream? If you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. It's very much appreciated. Eiling just cushions the header down and gets it back. Puts a low ball across goal, and Patrick Bamford was mightily close to turning that in and adding Leeds' third. Jeez, man. We don't have to make things hard for ourselves, do we? Ayling got in behind. It was a low cross, and Bamford made the move across the near post, but he just couldn't get there, and David Luiz, fortunately, was on hand to make some kind of intervention. It's good defending that from Luiz. Ceballos just slips over, but does well to keep the ball for Arsenal. And now he gets it back from Bukayo Saka. It's into the feet of Aubameyang. Plays a ball round the corner for Saka. Not an easy one to control, but Saka does in the end. Here's Bellerin now. Cuts it back inside the penalty area. Pascal Struijk just coming into his own penalty area to clean up. Big hello to Jashar. Akshay says too sloppy. Better teams would have slain our defence. Yeah, agreed. Cyril says, we are our own enemy. Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. Here's Ceballos inside the penalty area. Looks to find Aubameyang. Leeds defend it well again. Here's Cedric. Shoots from distance. Good save from Meslier. That looked like it was destined for the top corner, that from Cedric. Mr. Tesh says what's going on at the moment is based on downright complacency. I mean, I said it, didn't I, at the start of today's show. I said that Leeds were going to create chances today, and that they hadn't done up until that point, but they were going to. Leeds always create chances. That's what Leeds United under Marcelo Bielsa do. So I'm not surprised that they've created chances. I'm not even surprised they've scored a couple of goals. And I did say in the preview show that I felt this was going to be a bit of a shootout. Who could take more of their chances? Whoever that was would win the game, because there's no doubt both sides were going to have them. This wasn't going to be a complete shutout. As long as we get over the line, as long as we get the 3 points, I don't think many people will mind too much. Of course, there'll be the Arteta phobes who, want him out and will do anything to make a point that says that he's not doing his job properly and all of that. But I said it all along. Arsenal had to be efficient today. Arsenal had to take their opportunities, because Leeds were always going to get some. Rob Holding is about to enter the field of play as well. See who he's going to replace. Is Mikel going to bring on another centre-back to try and tighten things up? He's going to take off Danny Ceballos, who's worked really hard today. It's been really good, actually. Really enjoyed his performance. He's brought an energy, a zip, a tempo to Arsenal's midfield. And Rob Holding's going to come on just to help shore things up a little bit at the back for the last couple of minutes of normal time and whatever else is added. 11 likes away from hitting that 150 mark. So if you haven't hit the button already, please do so. Met by the head of Cooper. Leeds in possession with Strike. Here's Cooper. Long ball out towards the right hand side where Rafinha has made a run forward. Bielsa still pacing up and down, still demanding the absolute maximum from his players. That's what he's all about. Isaiah says the Gunners, we're back on track. Xander says take out our best performing centre-back in Holding and we look defensively weaker. Xander said, he also says Sabas was very solid, making a point to Arteta. Agree with that. Ian says let's manage the game and try and hit them on the counter. Yeah, I think we just got to see this out now. Well, we've just got to manage the game, even just from a defensive perspective as far as I'm concerned. If you concede 2 goals now in the last 4 minutes, because there's been 4 minutes of time added on, then you don't deserve to win the game at the end of the day. Leeds will still come though. Here they are. Rafinha into the box, met by the head of Bellerin. Strike will take it down. It's back with Cooper now, who's well inside Arsenal's half now. Now Ayling puts the ball out of play. I think someone's gone down with a problem. It's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Let's hope it's not serious, because he's just found his form again. The last thing we need is to lose Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He just jumped up for a header and just landed a little bit heavily on that right leg. I hope it's not. I hope it's not anything serious. Bielsa and Arteta are involved in some kind of exchange. I don't think Bielsa was happy with the game being stopped, but Arteta just explaining that he's landed in such a way. Of course, Spanish speaker will have no trouble communicating with Marcelo Bielsa. Aubameyang has been named the man of the match, and rightly so. 3 goals today. Looks to be in some pain. Hopefully it's just a bit of an impact injury. Nothing more than that for Aubameyang, who, as I said, has rediscovered his form. Got a big run of games coming up. Benfica, Man City sandwiched in between that, and then a trip to Leicester, Tottenham at home on March the 13th, as well as Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium on April 3rd. West Ham in there too, who have been a far better outfit this season. So it's a really tough run to come from Mikel Arteta's side. That's why I think some people are sceptical of whether we're actually able to push back up the table. Because you look at that run and it's very, very difficult. Graham Sutherland says, well, Harry, we got 3 out of 9. How many for the next 3? Well, I'm going to have to increase my target now, because we're 4 off of what I wanted from this last 3 games. So we need to increase the target by 4 for this next run of games. But I'll come back to you on that, Graham. Sorry, I'll come back to you on that one in due course. Maybe we'll talk about it on one of the podcasts this week. But yeah, we certainly need to up that target, because we've missed out on 4 points. Gooner says, sit Ober on the bench and play with 10. Why risk him? The fact that he is on probably suggests that it isn't that serious. Leeds almost getting in there again though, just while we were talking. Shackleton made a run into the penalty area. Xhaka clears one up into the air. Aubameyang involved in a challenge with Ayling there. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in. Less than a minute of the added 4 remaining here. Can the Gunners see this one out? Cedric to Willian. He helps it on. Ayling takes it down on his chest. Here's Bamford, runs into the brick wall that is Gabriel. But Leeds are still alive here with Rafinha. He's inside the box now. Rafinha chips one in towards the middle. Bamford can't get to it. Rob Holding was there and on hand. It's back with Rafinha now to the right of Arsenal's penalty area. It's got Willian for company. Willian with a good block. Leeds forced all the way back to the halfway line. El Neni pushing forward and really pressing people here. We've had a couple of wobbly moments. But you have to say Arsenal have done relatively well to not slump any further. He says, but forward come Leeds. Rafinha low cross cut out by Cedric and then hooked away by Willian. I think the ball had perhaps gone out of play. Yep, it's going to be a corner. Chance for Leeds. Played almost a minute more than the added time, by the way. In comes the corner. Bernd Leno gets a fist to it. Leeds are still playing on here. Arsenal on the counter-attack. Aubameyang knocks it past his man and he's completely taken out by Stuart Dallas, who's going to get a card for that surely. But more worried about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang because he just picked up a knock a couple of minutes ago. He's done really well to knock this one past Dallas. You know that he's got the pace to beat him. And leave Stuart Dallas for dead. Just catches him on that right ankle. Why is the whistle not blown yet? I mean, we're 95.5 minutes in. Mr. Tesh, what curry did you order, Harry? I went for a jalfrezi. Need a bit of spice. And of course, a mixture of starters as well as some naan bread and pilau rice and all the usual trimmings. Gabriel chips it forward towards Willian. The final whistle has finally gone here. It has finished. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. And my word, we needed that. We needed the 3 points. It wasn't easy in the end, but we got there. You know, Arsenal looked to be very, very comfortable at one stage. 4-0 up when we got that fourth at the start of the second period. You thought it was all done and dusted. But credit to Leeds, credit to Marcelo Bielsa, because they never gave up. They continued to compete. They got themselves a couple of games and dragged themselves back into the contest. Aubameyang's got the match ball in his hand. His first hat-trick ever in the Premier League. He got his 200th goal today in European football's top 5 leagues, which is a massive achievement for him. Delighted to have him back. Delighted to have him back on form. Mikel Arteta's all smiles, but he would have been nervous in that last 15 minutes or so. There's no doubt about that. Thank you to every single one of you for joining me for this live watch along. Really, really enjoyed it. We're 7 likes away from hitting the 150. So if you could please do that on your way out, it would be very, very much appreciated. We're going to be back with a podcast tonight, 9:45 p.m. We'll be doing our review show on Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. So come and join me for that one, where we'll be digging into the game a little bit, talking about some of the individual performances. I look forward to talking to you guys then. Until then, take care, enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.